starting it all off with the time Steph Curry drilled a three-pointer to cement himself in league history, breaking a record that we thought was never going to be broken.
Alec Burks guarding it from the start. Wiggins again. Here's Curry for the record. It's good! There it is!
Now that shot didn't look all that incredible compared to some of his other shots, but becoming the all-time leading three-point shooter, that's a 1 in a million kind of accomplishment, and to think nobody else has ever made that many threes. I mean, think about how many he's made for a second. At that point, it was 2,974, and of course, that's a number he's well past by now. But really, the fact that he hit this many throughout his career gets less and less surprising, especially when you see other plays he's made when shooting from distance, like this one, for example, when Steph racked up a steal and absolutely embarrassed the Memphis Grizzlies. Despite stumbling and trying to potentially draw a foul, Steph launched a shot up and over his head while falling to the ground, and it banked straight in to extend the Golden State Warriors' lead. Now, if I was Memphis here, I'm sitting back there just wondering how in the heck he got that shot to fall.
Got the ball, Russ Smith. Good effort. Back into Curry again, and he banked it in!
And that's probably exactly what the Oklahoma City Thunder were thinking during this next primetime matchup with Steph and the Warriors. With the game on the line in overtime, who else but Steph Curry to make the game-changing play? It didn't look like anybody on the Thunder's team was expecting him to take that shot, but little did they know that dude excels from that range. But let's be real though, Steph basically excels from every single area of the floor when we're talking about shooting the basketball. To take this next play as a perfect example of just that, and unfortunately for Kevin Love, he was on the wrong end of this one. Talk about elite defense from Love on the perimeter against a dude who never stops moving, but this was just a perfect case of elite offense beating out elite defense. The dribble moves, the recovery with the shot clock winding down before draining the deep triple, absolutely insane to watch. And the fact that it happened in the NBA Finals at a critical juncture in the game just makes it that much better.
But Curry recovers, shot clock winding down. Curry's gonna have to put it up, launches it up, shot clock. Oh, he knocks it down!
Now this next one wasn't at a major point in the game, but it was still a rare and pretty shocking occurrence. The Warriors were absolutely blowing the doors off the Lakers late in the third quarter, and that's when Steph did this.
Kobe slaps him on the behind and gives him a smile and says, "That's good shooting, kid."
Now, what makes this play even more rare is that Kobe just smiled at Steph because of that move and gave him a little pat on the back for what he was able to do.
Lighten it up. Price is 3 for 4. Other than that, I don't think anybody's at 50%. Whoa! From the other.
You know you've hit a magical shot when the Black Mamba, a dude known for his competitiveness, approves of it. And speaking of competitive, that's exactly what Curry and the rest of the players on the floor were in this particular game. The Warriors and the Thunder got into a scrum with just 5 seconds left to go in the first half, and it certainly seemed to activate something inside of Steph as he was right in the middle of it.
Have that kind of
It's getting physical. It's getting physical.
that was off the jump ball. Potential to lose your best player. You're not up on the line.
Yeah, they started just a little pushing and shoving here, and then everybody, oh, there we go.
A few moments later.
Look at this. Look at this.
Look at that timing and the shot release right there. He immediately knew to sprint down the floor to receive the outlet with just a second or two left on the clock, and he fired up a beautiful three-pointer to extend their lead even further. Then when he ran off into the tunnel, that was just icing on the cake. Moving on to this next play when Steph absolutely embarrassed one of the best defensive players in the league, not once, but twice in just a matter of seconds. To make it even crazier, he was able to pull this off in the middle of a playoff game while his team was just blowing the roof off the Utah Jazz.
More on these games, please log on to NBA.com or visit the NBA app. This is Game 1, Western Conference semifinals. Right there when he had Steph Curry. Steve Smith.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert switching on to Curry was just a disaster waiting to happen. Not only did he let himself get crossed over once, but then he fell for the drive right after and allowed him to hit a nice up and under layup over the help defender to seal the deal. I'm sure watching the game film back the next day was not a great time for Rudy. Probably should have just stayed off social media after that one. And let me tell you, social media was crazy in love with this Curry dribble drive when he was taking on KD in the Thunder. Durant, despite his massive wingspan and length advantage, had no answer to stop what Curry was cooking up on this possession to get the game started off on the right foot.
From the field, Curry putting moves on Durant to the double, able to beat Durant and score!
Whew, Steph had this dude jumping, stumbling, and reaching all in a matter of a few seconds before taking it hard to the hole and finishing the layup over the outstretched arms of the defender. And talking about embarrassing somebody, we gotta mention the time that Curry made Chris Paul touch earth with this one simple move. A move that doesn't usually warrant this type of insane defender reaction, but it's now a play that's gonna be shown on highlight reels till the end of time. Watching this for the first time, I was even wondering where he put the ball for a second. That little hesitation or fake of him going backwards towards the rim and then immediately pulling it back towards the three-point line, just absolutely genius on his end. Paul was so caught up on the possibility of getting blown by on the baseline that he got sauced up on the perimeter instead. I'm telling you, you really don't get to see crossovers like this every day. And you know what else you don't get to see every day? Just a casual cross-court buzzer beater that gets done by complete chance. It's hard to know exactly what we're talking about here until you actually check out the play, so take a look.
Get a good shot. Green weaving, trying to get the shot up. No call that way. Curry flings it the other way. And he got it! What a turnaround! Curry the three!
With such little time left on the clock before the end of the quarter, the odds of a stripped ball landing right in front of Steph while he was in stride towards the other basket, it's pretty unreal. It just seemed like nobody else on the floor expected anything to happen once the ball got stripped, but Steph knew better than to just stand around and watch it roll. It seems like those deep, buzzer-beating triples are just Steph's thing, man. Here's another moment when the ball just happened to find Steph with the clock winding down in the first half against the Los Angeles Clippers. That's when Steph made the shot to crush and demoralize the entire Clippers team.
Off the rim, Curry has time. 3 seconds. Curry from half court. Oh! He puts it in at the buzzer.
Of course, the ball just found his hands right after it hit the rim. It was already over at that point. He hit his defender with a slick behind-the-back dribble move to get just enough space to heave up a prayer around the half-court line, and it sent the Warriors into halftime with a big lead. But it's not just those deep shots that have us scratching our heads on how it's possible for Steph to do something like that. There's a few legendary passes from Curry that make you question what exactly the odds were of him being able to pull something like this off. So yeah, already with a huge lead, Curry knew exactly where his teammate was going to be on the floor when he saw that ball fall into his hands. Even when he dropped it, he knew that KD would be sprinting down the floor to get himself an easy bucket. That behind-the-back pass was just a thing of beauty, and the ball dropped right where it needed to be without Durant being forced to lose stride.
Trying to spin, stripped to the ball.
Pass to Durant, who tomahawks it home.
Now, as nice as that one was, this next play feels just impossible. Curry had to take on LeBron James in his prime during the NBA Finals in a one-on-one situation. Steph was desperately working to get free of the hounding LeBron on defense, and it resulted in a play that looked like this.
James trying to harass Curry. Curry off the dribble, layup off the glass.
The fact that he actually found some space while the King was doing everything he could to keep him away from the basket was insane. What was even crazier, though, was that he narrowly slipped past LeBron James off the backboard block on the layup attempt, a fate that, of course, Andre Iguodala wasn't able to avoid. Funny enough, another fate that somebody was unable to avoid was the one that the Cleveland Cavaliers felt going up against Steph and the Warriors in this series. Cleveland had a minute left to try and force a Game 6, and it was still doable until Steph put an end to those thoughts.
Curry, 3, bang!
I mean, look, Kyrie Irving, he was playing some unbelievable defense here, but this just fits into that saying again of good offense beats good defense. Not much else you can do there. I mean, Steph just fired this heavily contested shot and he swished it with no worries. Now we come to the improbable time that Steph crossed up almost the entire starting lineup for the Clippers in just a few seconds. Don't believe us? Well, take a look at the play for yourselves and let us know what you think.
Curry splits the defense behind the back. Fires a three. Oh, he puts it in. What a spectacular move.
Steph was able to put at least 3 players in the blender as he worked his way around and through them before scoring a leading 3-pointer. He looked like a man possessed out there with everything just kind of going in his direction with ease out there. The best part about this whole sequence, though, was Steve Kerr's reaction on the sideline. Curry made him go from, oh man, he's about to hear it, to, wow, did he really just do that?
Like, man, did this dude just did this?
And you know what else I know you'll love? It's LeBron James' 1 in a million moments. So make sure to click on the video that appears on your screen now to watch that one.